he could only see a maximum of 1,800 feet above ground level.
The NORCAP report says that since this object was estimated to be at 1,900 feet, you would not have seen it from the tower. How to react to that?
That's not true. The control tower is United's terminal lies directly in front of the control tower, and opposite of the terminal there are two of the main runways. And if it was hovering over United's terminal, we would have saw it.
Yeah, I'm just curious, if you had seen something, what would you have done?
We'll stop departures, we'll stop arrivals, we'll put airplanes in a hold. We just didn't see anything. There was nothing there to investigate, and there was no impact on the operation.
In Craig's opinion, the sighting is caused by a weather phenomenon.
I'm not saying they didn't see anything, but what they saw was likely some kind of reflection that was positional in nature. It was kind of dusk. We had wet pavement the entire day. You have airplanes all over, hundreds of airplanes with flashing lights. And United's terminal is all glass. There's a lot of reflection.
I understand that Craig Burzik believes that nothing went on, but I also had the chance to talk with John Hilkovich, who was there on the ground talking to the eyewitnesses. These were very credible eyewitnesses. These were experienced people. They all gave accounts of something that was a clearly defined object. I don't know how to reconcile the two.
But one final detail of the O'Hare incident may prove to be the most telling. According to the witnesses, the UFO ascended quickly, punching a hole in the cloud covering through which they could see blue sky. It's not the first time witnesses to alleged UFO sightings have reported seeing strange holes punched in the clouds. In Newfoundland in 1947, in Warwickshire, England in 1977, and as recently as 2002 in Ventura, California. Ted meets with meteorologist William Puckett, one of the authors of the NORCAP report on the Chicago UFO.
The witnesses who reported seeing this phenomenon up in the cloud formation, were they looking directly overhead or way out horizontally to the side?
My understanding is that they were looking straight up. And right after the object had made its split-second ascent, they saw this hole in the cloud. They saw blue sky.
Do you know from the meteorological history where the cloud tops were that day?
We were able to determine that the tops of the clouds were at 10,000 feet.
If the UFO enters the cloud cover at 1,900 feet and then blasts through them to 10,000 feet, the hole is about 8,000 feet long.
So what you're saying is we've got this cylindrical hole that's basically 8,000 feet tall. What kind of energy would it take to convert that into clear air?
That amount of evaporation in 1 or 2 seconds' time is an astronomical amount of energy.
By some estimates, as much as 100 megawatts of power is needed to generate enough heat for creating a hole this large. In comparison, the engines of a 747 pushing their nearly 400,000-pound aircraft fast enough to break the speed of sound would use only about 60 megawatts, roughly half the energy of whatever punched through the clouds over Chicago.
There are really only a couple of ways you could introduce heat into a cloud column like that. One would be some sort of object that was radiating heat as it climbed. The other would be something much more lightning fast, an electromagnetic impulse that would heat the air column itself. And that's the only possibility I can think of that would be plausible, because the descriptions, again, say that it happens so quickly.
Between the object's ability to evade radar, its ability to blend into the atmosphere, and its ability to punch an 8,000-foot hole through dense cloud cover, the craft clearly displays extraordinary characteristics. But the O'Hare incident is not the only account of an advanced UFO penetrating supposedly secure airspace. Authenticated video shows a fiery object buzzing an airliner in Japan, and the crew apparently sees nothing. Can these UFOs, allegedly seen over airports, become invisible?
Is it possible for something to appear on video but not be seen with the naked eye?
Well, sure.
An alleged UFO over Chicago O'Hare has raised concerns about airport security. But another case could prove even more unsettling. October 23, 2004, about 30 miles to the east of Itami International Airport in Osaka, Japan. Mr. Kyoshi Amamiya is videotaping airplanes when he spots something he can't quite comprehend. His tape has never been released to the public. It has never been broadcast on television. A fiery glowing object appears to be on a collision course with an approaching airliner. The light seems to pass dangerously close to the wing. The camera tracks the object as its shape transforms. At first, it appears as a solid hot bloom. Then a second heat source materializes. Finally, after 3 minutes, the object begins to fade and then vanishes. Although the object is clearly seen in the camera's viewfinder, when the cameraman looks for himself, he sees nothing. The object is invisible to the naked eye. NARCAP Director Ted Rowe and investigator Bill Puckett have brought this to the attention of the UFO Hunters investigation into airport incursions.
It's a very compelling video for the mere fact that we have an object coming close to an aircraft. It appeared that the aircraft did not see the object.
Well, this video is important. We suspect that it demonstrates that there are categories of unidentified aerial phenomena that can't be seen visually with the naked eye.
But this isn't the first time video has captured something that appears to be invisible. A previous investigation looked at footage from the Volusia County, Florida Sheriff's Office that shows a dumbbell-shaped object on infrared video. The object was also over an airport, and it was also invisible to the naked eye. What kind of technology is capable of rendering a flying object invisible? And why is the camera able to see what we cannot? Pat meets with Ted and Dr. Peter Morse from the physics department of Santa Monica College to find out.
I'm looking for scientific answers. Is it possible for something to appear on video but not be seen with the naked eye?
Well, sure. I mean, visible light's part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and we just see a little piece of it, but there's all sorts of other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. Gamma rays, X-rays, radio waves, and infrared. So, our eyes don't see some parts of the spectrum. Maybe it was part of the spectrum we couldn't see.
If you're using a video camera like this, this is not a perfect match to the human eye. So it actually captures information on either side of what we see with our eye.
Ted believes one explanation why the object over Japan might be visible to the camera, but not the camera operator, is because it could have been emitting infrared light. The human eye can only see a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum.